Dzień dobry, witam serdecznie na webinarze All for One. Dzisiaj zajmiemy się najnowszym CRM-em od SAP-a, SAP Intelligence Sales and Service Cloud. Na dzisiejszą sesję zaprosiliśmy eksperta z All for One Customer Experience, spółki, która w naszej grupie specjalizuje się w rozwiązaniach klasy CX. Jest z nami Sasha Weisenborn. Hi Sasha, it's good to have you here. I część Saszy odbędzie się za chwilę w języku angielskim. Czego dowiecie się Państwo z dzisiejszej sesji? W 3 najkrótszych punktach, jakie możliwości kryją się w rozwiązaniu CRM od SAP. W tym Sasza skupi się bardziej szczegółowo na funkcjach wspomaganych sztuczną inteligencją. Wskaże również korzyści z wyboru tego rozwiązania dla tych z Państwa, którzy korzystają już z jakichś rozwiązań SAP bądź planują korzystanie z rozwiązań SAP. W jaki sposób ta integracja właśnie sprawia, że warto wybrać to rozwiązanie, że dużo rzeczy będzie łatwiej, choćby na przykład praca na wspólnym słowniku kontrahentów. Na sesję przewidzieliśmy około 45 minut. Następnie nasz ekspert będzie odpowiadał na Państwa pytania. Proszę wpisywać te pytania w okienku czata. W miarę możliwości najlepiej od razu po angielsku, to Sasza będzie mógł bezpośrednio się do nich odnieść. Jeśli nie zdążymy na wszystkie odpowiedzieć, to na pozostałe otrzymacie Państwo odpowiedź drogą mailową. Webinar jest nagrywany, będzie dostępny później na naszym kanale YouTube. A teraz przekażę głos ekspertowi z firmy, która ma w swoim doświadczeniu już ponad 150 klientów z obszaru CX. Przed Państwem Sasha Weisenborn. Sasha, the floor is yours.
Right. Thank you, Alexandra, and thank you for having me. I'm glad to give you that English presentation of the Intelligence Sales and Service Cloud. Maybe before that, a little bit about our company. So I'm a cloud consultant for the SAP CX portfolio with All for One CX. CX stands for Customer Experience. I'm German, sitting in Hamburg, and very happy to give you that short introduction, or not so short introduction, into our topic. A little bit about ourselves. On the left side, you see an overview about customers that we work with. We are mostly specialized to work with German mid-market companies, usually from the manufacturing industry, but as well some utility customers, some commerce customers we have as well, and other specialties like the pharmaceutical industry. So our company was born in the cloud, always specialized since the beginning on the SAP Customer Experience portfolio in 2012. And since 2016, we are part of the All for One group. Currently, we have 170 cloud CX enthusiasts, as we call them, so employees, people who work within the portfolio of the SAP CX solution and implementing the solutions with our customers. We are SAP Platinum Partner, which is the highest category of partnership with SAP in that context. And currently, we cater to roughly over 150 customers we have at the moment. As well, international, we won some awards with the SAP. I'll get to that in a second, but as well, we are part of the United VARs network, which gives us resources and the ability as well to implement projects on a global scale with country-based rollouts all over the world and on-site support as well in those countries. Maybe to look a little bit deeper into that, the awards that we won, I'm not going to go through every one of them. What is important for me to mention here are the SAP Quality Awards, like you can see in the top right corner with Saab Bau-Linz, for example, and we've won a few of them, which for me is important because this shows the quality that we bring in our projects, because those awards are given from the SAP to projects which were completed in time, in budget, and delivered the promised value to the customer. So it's a quite rigorous process we go through with our customers if they decide to participate in this award. And the SAP really looks into the methodology, into the process of how the project was planned, was implemented, and make a test of the system as well to make sure that the project was really successful in the end. After that short introduction, I would like to run you through what we are going to look at today. So first, as an introduction, I would like to give you an overview of the SAP Customer Experience portfolio, what is a part of that, before we then dive deeper into today's topic, which is the Intelligent Sales and Service Cloud. Today, we're going to focus on the sales part of the solution as well. Before we make a little wrap up, in the second phase, where we look into the solution, I'm going to give a demo of the solution as well, so you get an insight. How does it look? How can you work with it? And what are the benefits? Before we give a little wrap up and some key takeaways. What are the advantages of our solution? And then we will still leave some time for you to ask some questions. We can then answer by the way you ask them. Before we dive into the topic, I would like to ask you a question. And we would like to ask you that question on how experienced you are with CRM systems, to get an idea if you already have experience in that field, if you have basic experience or made some first experiences, or if you're completely new to the field of customer relationship management. So we see that we have a mix of people who already have experience in the CRM field and some who have some basic experience, and no one who said that they don't have any experience. So the topic is not entirely new. So thank you for giving us that information. And with that, I'm going to start with my introduction to the SAP Customer Experience solution. But before that, I would like to go into a little bit of the SAP strategy. So there are certain challenges that we face today. They are different for every industry, but there are some high-level global trends, I would say, that basically touch all of us. So on the one side, customers are consumers in the first place, and all the experiences we make in the B2C world, when we shop at Amazon or other places, we slowly start transferring those to the B2B world. So the customer expectations are rising in regards to the buying experience and the level of convenience they expect from us as B2B companies and from you as well in regards of how they buy, how they interact with you. On the other side, the world accelerates, and with this, changes come faster and stronger than ever. One example might be the COVID, where suddenly everyone moved to on-site meeting and being in the office, to remote work and having remote meetings, like this webinar, for example, was a huge trend which came up during that time, which means that companies need to be able to be flexible, to adapt, to be agile, and to pivot depending on the resources they are giving. And basically can only bring this together if we manage our company in an agile way. And that's basically the main challenge we have to face. We need to grow together as organizations within a company to be able to realign our strategies and our processes accordingly and as fast and efficient as possible. And the SAP approach to do that is via the one office approach. And what does that mean? Means that we build up end-to-end processes as well throughout the solutions and the tools that we use to be able to move those processes completely throughout the value chain and connect those experiences and build transparency in between. So on the one side, we have the customer experience portfolio, which is catering to all the front-end processes. So every interaction we have with our customers runs through those kind of modules or systems. And then we have the digital core, mostly known as the SAP ERP system or HR systems, where we have following internal processes that come after that. And those processes need to be aligned and they need to be connected. And we do that through Intelligent CX, and as well we build business AI into those kind of solutions. So we have the support of AI in order to really gain speed, to be faster, more versatile, and adapt to our customers' expectations, our customers' needs, but as well to align our back-end processes depending on the challenges that follow. When we take a look at the different parts or modules of the SAP CX portfolio or the suite, I would like to give you a short run through. So as I mentioned, we can manage all customer-facing interactions with these solutions, starting with customer engagement or SAP Emarsys for marketing processes in order to really have personalized omni-channel marketing journeys to acquire better leads, more leads, leads that our sales team can pick up and really transfer them. As well, there's the SAP Commerce Cloud, which makes shopping a new experience, a modern experience, enables us as well to build that connection between sales teams and an online shop in the same time. But not only that, as well, we are able to build self-service hubs, for example, or customer portals with this solution. And all this works hand in hand with the customer engagement part, with the sales, with the service part, which brings us to the next part, which we're going to focus on today. It's the Sales and Service Cloud, which are both in one system. Today, we're going to look at the sales processes, but we believe that it's the right way to have one system for both those fields because we need that transparency, because that's the key area where we get our customer information, our customer interactions, where we are directly in contact with our customer, person to person, either in service or in sales. And there it is crucial that we have all the information from every department in one set of data so we can really understand our customers and know what they do next, how we can cater to them the best way. And with that, I'm going to come to the second question that I would like to ask you, which is, do you already have a tool for CRM, for customer relationship management in use? And which one is it? Is it the SAP Sales Cloud, maybe Salesforce, another provider, or maybe you currently are not using a customer relationship management tool? And as we see, we have some people who already have some experience with the Sales Cloud. I think, Alexandra, we can close the question, but as well, we have people who use another system and some who don't use a CRM at the moment. Thanks for that, for your answers. It's always nice to get a little bit of interaction as well. And with that, I would like to start giving you an overview of the SAP Intelligent Sales and Service Cloud. One key information is that the SAP Intelligent Sales and Service Cloud is like a relaunch of the already existing SAP Sales Cloud, which has been there for a long time now in the market. And the SAP decided to do a replatforming so that the SAP Intelligent Sales and Service Cloud is currently the most modern and the newest CRM system in the market. And to dive in on that a little bit more, I would like to give you an overview on what that modernization approach is and why it was chosen. So the platform is hosted on a hyperscaler infrastructure. So currently the solution is hosted on the AWS system, so on Amazon Web Services. In the future, it will be possible as well to use other hyperscalers for hosting, as Azure or Google Cloud, for example, which gives high performance and availability all over the world. Then the new solution, which is a new thing for CRM technology in general, is built on a microservices API first approach. What does that mean? That means that the solution is not built as a typical software, but built on little services that are connected via APIs. So as an example, for example, you have the Elasticsearch, which is used or which is bought in by the most performant solution in the market. And this has certain benefits that we gain. One of it is that we have basically no downtime of the solution. because even if there is an upgrade or maintenance happening in one of the services, all the other services remain untouched. So it might be that, for example, the search will not be available for a few seconds till an update rolls in, but the rest of the solution is completely untouched and will work as usual. As well, we have advanced business capabilities, which means that the solution was built completely new based on new scientific standards in terms of usability. That means that we have a new user experience, a new UI, which is really user-friendly and easy to use, but as well it aligns with the end-to-end processes of SAP, especially in relation to the SAP backend systems like S4HANA or ECC. And on top of that, we have improved cloud qualities, which are basically meaning that we have a continuous improvement of the cloud infrastructure, which gives us more reliability and stability. And as mentioned, in the last 6 months, we basically have zero downtime with the solution. And last but not least, in this more architectural view, we have simplified extensibility and improved usability. So we have a completely API open system, which makes it easy to connect to other systems or build in mashup integrations, build the interface into different systems, context-based. But as well, we are able to use a number of pre-configured standard integration content, especially when we connect to different SAP systems, which makes it easy and takes TCO off our shoulders because we don't need to care and maintain those integrations ourselves, but this is completely managed by SAP, and we can use that and leverage that to gain speed and really work with consistent data and master data in our systems as well. Now, to summarize that, I would like for you to remember 5 particular things. We have a completely new modern platform, which was completely newly developed. And if we look back to other cloud infrastructures in the CRM market, which are like 15 years, we can maybe think about the iPhone, for example, how it looked 15 years ago, or in general, mobile phones and how they look now. And in the same way, cloud technology is well developed. So that's why it was time to really do that replatforming and use a modern infrastructure. And I think you're going to see that speed as well in the demonstration later. The second thing is the user experience. From my experience, I know SAP solution is sometimes a little bit unsexy and not that easy to use. You will see that here SAP took a completely new path and really worked out a new UX that is really easy to use, and the overviews are modern and easy to navigate. So we need less input or less information for us to use the system. The third thing is business AI. Right now we see artificial intelligence on the rise everywhere, and it's a key pillar as well of SAP's strategy, and that throughout the whole process. So there will be coming end of the year as well a Joule integration. Joule is the co-pilot of SAP, which will work throughout the different solutions, ERP, CX portfolio, HR. This is still going to come, but as well, we already have built-in AI tools that are really supporting us in our day-to-day business. The fourth thing is the integration, especially into S4HANA or ECC. So the backend system where we can really use that standard lead to cache end-to-end process and get the visibility and the transparency around crucial business data. And that connects to the last point, the customer 360, where we can really get insight into our customer's behavior, into his buying behavior to really improve from that. And with this, I would like to move over to our demo part, where we're going to take a look into the solution as well. And we're going to look into the solution from the perspective of Mike Summers. He's a sales manager. And for him, the most important thing is that he has access to all his sales relevant information and activities regarding his customer, in one solution, easy and fast, and can build his processes in that solution as well. So he basically has one space, one solution where he can operate as a sales person or sales rep. So what exactly are we going to look at? We're going to start with the overview and with the digital selling workspace, which is essentially a cockpit where we have all our information structured for us, where we can organize our day, get an overview of our day-to-day tasks and what is ahead. Then we're going to look into the process of lead management. How can we efficiently qualify a lead to, in the end, turn that lead into an opportunity. In between, we're going to look at the 360-degree view we get of the customer and all the information we can gather just from this system with a connected backend system of ERP. Before then, we move into the guided selling phase, which is about managing an opportunity, from having the lead qualified into an opportunity to then really go through the process of qualifying that further, get to the stage where we're going into the quotation phase, where we create a quote directly in the system as well, and then move the opportunity into closing and win our first deal. And in the end, we're going to take a look at the pipeline management and reporting, some key functionalities on how we gain visibility into our sales pipeline, and as well how the built-in SAC reporting works as a tool that we can use to really gain more insights out of the solution as well. And with that, I would like to start. So when we jump into the system, we are going to start with the start screen, and often it's difficult, especially in SAP solutions, to find the right information in the right place. Here we can have it all in the first view that we have. So we can get all the information that we need here in those flexible tiles, which we can configure based on our needs, like KPIs, messages, and as well jumps. And here, for example, we're going to jump into the digital selling workspace, which is where we're going to start our day as a sales rep. So once we are logged into the digital selling workspace, you can see that in the top of the screen, we get an overview of our relevant KPIs. So we see our tasks. We can sort by all of them or today, appointments, as well as key KPIs like win rate, lead conversion. And on the right side of the screen, we have a calendar or recent calls. So we have everything in one place. And we can as well have an integration with Outlook. So we can synchronize our appointments or Teams, so we can jump directly into Teams appointments. Then we have our main working area in the middle of the screen, where we can manage call lists, where we can, for example, as well put call scripts behind a specific call list, where we can define questions we want to ask the customers, points we want to clarify, and as well directly call customers from the solution. As well, we have a built-in task management, where we have different views on how to navigate our tasks, on priorities, the most important tasks, which ones are due today, which ones are overdue, so nothing falls down at the end of the day. And as well, we get an overview of our lead and opportunities. The opportunities are possibly rated with a score, depending on how efficient we are and how likely the deal is to close. And as well, we always, for leads and opportunities, get the next best action already proposed here in the solution. If we need more information, we can always jump out of this view and go into another data set like a lead themselves. Where are we going to start next? So when we open the lead, you can see that on the left side, we have in the dark blue column our key information field. So this is basically where we have all our key information, like the lead source, the status, who is the owner of it, and as well an engagement history. In the top right of that column, we see as well that there is currently a 0, but we can enable machine learning to score our leads as well, depending on how likely it is that they will convert. And as well, we are able to view our timeline here, which means we see all our customer interaction as well. If we want to gain more insights, we can expand that space as well to see more key information. On the right side, we see our guided process of the lead, and as well how we can qualify leads based on tasks that we align to our stages of the lead. So here, for example, a survey or questionnaire that we want to fill in with key information to really ensure that we collect the right data to be able that lead is properly qualified before converting it to an opportunity. And as well, we can track all our activities as well as master data like the account it's connected to. And we start building our document flow, which you've seen in the bottom of the screen, which we're going to look at a little bit later. If you get a lead from a company that you don't know yet, we can leverage generative AI to really gain insight as well from information that is not within our system, but in the internet during the lead booster, where we get structured information based on the account that is currently available on the internet, much like OpenAI provides with ChatGPT, but always context-based to that lead that we are currently working on. Once that lead is qualified to our certain criteria, it's time to really transfer that lead and convert it to an opportunity, so to an open sales chance that we have. And all the information from the lead is already pre-configured, and we can just make our adjustment to really fast get to the point where we can move to the next stage, which is our opportunity. When we look into our opportunity, we see that often companies struggle that they know what good looks like in terms of how to qualify an opportunity, how to really go through the different stages of a sales cycle to bring it to an end. A big problem that we see amongst our customers is how to really get this information to be used by everyone and to make sure that it's used throughout the whole sales team, because everyone works at a different rate. Everyone has different backgrounds, different processes, different ways to work with the customer. And here we have the possibility to really build that process into the solution and give guidance to our sales representatives to work on that opportunity as well, which is particularly important if you onboard new sales reps, for example, that still need to get used to the processes inside your company. Now, when we look at the opportunity itself, in the top we see that process. Again, here on the left side, we see our key information as well with AI-based insights. So we get that score for our opportunity, but it's not a black box, but we see which are the positive and the negative factors that flow into that. Of course, the more data we have in the system, the more exact those insights are. Here again, we have our timeline where we can see everything that happened in regards to that opportunity as well. And when we are ready to start working on that opportunity, we set our status to in process and we start our guided selling process. So that's where we can get predefined insights, configurable insights based on the opportunity on what to do next, whether it's to prepare, to do some admin work, or to schedule a call with the customer. But one part of preparation, of course, is as well to really have a look at the customer and gain complete understanding of what is happening in the customer. So we're going to quickly jump into that account as well. And we see here the Seabond Industries. Again, we have the same layout. On the left, dark blue side, key information, our master data like address, contact information, who is our main contact, as well as ABC classification. As well, what we see is that more in the bottom of the blue part, we are going to see highlights, which are again AI generated insights that the system gives us on important information in regards to the customer. Of course, again, the timeline. And then when we look over to the right side, where we get additional information, we can see key metrics where we can jump into our leads and opportunities of that customer. But here's as well the place where we can access that ERP information from NS4, for example, and jump into, for example, invoices of the customer that we don't actually have in the system ourselves, but which we can bring in through those standard integrations, so we can really gain that full transparency of the customer. As well, we can have relationships of our customers, attachments with documents, and we get a score depending on which contact we are the most interacting with. And here again, similar to the lead, we can get a generative AI-based overview of our customer, what are his challenges, etc., and get a more detailed view on the sales history. So which leads did we have on that customer already, which opportunities we have, which are currently open, to really get that full picture of the customer, where we stand with him, and really dive into that information before we go in and work on our opportunity some more. And with that, I would like to jump back to the opportunity, which we are now going to continue to work on. We are going to work along our defined process we have with the steps that we define should come next, opportunity, appointments that we schedule, other information that needs to be updated to really drive ourselves through the process. So once all the information on one stage is finished, we can jump into the next phase, in this case, qualify opportunity. And we see here a little red circle next to our task, which means that it's mandatory. So that's the thing we need to necessarily do to jump to the next stage, which really ensures the quality of our process and our customer interactions. As we jump to the stages, we as well see that we are coming closer to the quotation phase. But while we gather that information with the customer, we can attach more information to that opportunity as well. So maybe we by now got some more information from the customer, and we know which products, for example, he's interested in, and we can already enter those product information on the opportunity as well. So we don't need to wait to make a quote. And here again, we have the advantage of using those standard integrations into the SAP backend, because we don't need to store that information directly in the system, but we can use the information regarding to the pricing, to our products that we already have in our ERP system. So we don't need to set that up again. And then when we entered all that information and jump through the next phases of our opportunity process, we will finally get to the phase where we're going to make a solution proposal to the customer. So give some more information on the products that he's interested in. And usually this is a quite time-consuming task to gather that information, to look through data sheets, to really gather relevant information regarding to products and send them out to a customer, put that in an email. And this is a process that we can support as well as other processes with generative AI. So if we send an email from the solution, we can use the AI to produce prompts like a product proposal email, for example, but we can configure custom-based prompts as well. And here we see that we have some variables we can adjust, and the system will use that information of our products that we have in the system to draft a text message or email directly to our customer, and we can regenerate that until it's in the form that we would like to have, and then we can still adjust it. But we're going to at least save that time to really look for all that information ourselves, make that draft ourselves, and save those 10-20 minutes in just reading through the copy and adjusting the email to our needs, and maybe change something instead of really creating that email from scratch. And as mentioned, those prompts we are able to configure based on customer needs as well. This was just an example. Then when we qualified our opportunity to that extent that the customer requests an actual quote for specific products, we can do that within the same solution as well. So if we move to the next stage, we're going to automatically be offered to create a quote. And here we have two options. We can create quotes in the Sales Cloud, or we can use the ERP systems to create an external quote. In this example, we're going to look at the internal, so the quote we send from the Sales Cloud itself. And here we have all the information from the opportunity again taken over, like the parties, and can adjust that to our needs, but we don't need to fill everything again. You see as well that the products, for example, with quantities are already taken over and the pricing is calculated. Once we created that quote, we have a process here again. And when we set it to work in progress, we are able as well to change, for example, the pricing on variables that we can define as well. So we can give an overall discount, for example, or define own rules to really make the pricing work for you. When we take a look at the calculation, we see that the discount was already applied. And with that, we can just submit and send that quote directly to the customer from within the system. So we don't need to jump back. We just need to put an HTML template behind it on which our quote will be filled and send it out. Then once we get the confirmation from the customer, we can set our quote to 1, and we can then in turn as well set our opportunity to 1. And what is important here is to mention that as well here we can leverage the integration with the SAP ERP solutions, so we can as well trigger follow-up processes like sales order creation in the ERP system in the following systems. And we gain an overview, as mentioned in the document flow, where we can follow our process from the lead to the converted opportunity through all appointments, quotes, etc., which come behind it. And if the integration is built, we're going to see as well the follow-up sales order from the ERP system, and can even extend it to look at shipping information, for example, as well. And with that, I'm going to conclude the sales process itself as a quick run through. And now we are going to take a look at the reporting or pipeline management functionalities. So if we go into the pipeline manager, this is where we get an overview of all our sales pipeline. Here we can set filters like the status of the opportunities we want to see, the sales phases, which forecast categories we want to view, and as well which quarter or which time frame we want to look at. Then we see by categories how much we already won in this period of time, how much is committed, basically our forecast categories. And then in the main part, we see this overview on a timeline with the bubbles, which show our opportunities, which are then listed below as well. We can adjust them here. We can as well split our revenue. So we can say that some employee gets 80% of the revenue of one opportunity, whilst another one gets less. We're able to dynamically zoom into this overview as well, and our opportunity list in the bottom adjusts accordingly. So here we can get a complete overview of our pipeline, what we currently have in store, and can even filter this detailed, for example, based on product categories. So we can see what we have in the pipeline based on products, based on certain customers or customer groups, for example, and really be able to prioritize our sales opportunities in that manner. We as well have the possibility to look at it in a different way with a different chart. And here, if we have that information, it's a new system, so we don't have information from last year, but we could see where we are standing in terms of what we won already, what is our pipeline in comparison to how we performed last year in that same time frame. And if that's not enough for us, but we want to really know what we can calculate with what our numbers are going to look like in the future and take that glance into the future, we are going to take a look at the pipeline tracker, which is our built-in forecasting tool. So here we have again the same filter settings on the view, but now we see that we are almost in the end of the quarter. So we are going to look at the forecast for the next quarter ahead, and we can see which opportunities are in the pipeline, when they're expected to close. So we graphically see when that pipeline is going to convert. And in our forecast, we don't have the pipeline category included, but we can play around and move opportunities into the sales forecast, adjust them, edit them, or just override for our forecast how we see that deal without changing the information in the system itself. So here we gain that flexibility to really play around with different scenarios in the future, which deals might come in, which not, what happens if a certain deal comes in, what impact does that has on our bottom line, on our overall revenue. And once I went through that and adjusted that towards my lead, we have a roll-up scenario where we can use predictive numbers as well, or enter our own numbers, which we individually decide on, and put a comment into the into our forecast, which will then be submitted directly to our sales manager. So they get in a roll-up principle all the information from their sales employees and get a complete overview of the forecast, what will happen in the future, what can I expect from my sales reps, and with that as well, gain more efficiency in the whole process and save the time that many of us spend in long sales meetings where we go through the forecast one by one, because the information is already in the system and we can really focus on those deals that are important and that deserve that attention as well, because they drive business outcomes. And then last but not least, we are going to take a look at the embedded SAC. So we have an embedded version of the SAP Analytics Cloud, where we can really dive into analytical stories, build dashboards, custom reports. And as an example, we're going to look at the sales performance dashboard, which is a standard dashboard, which already comes with the solution, where we get an overview into our pipeline, what we've already won, how our sales reps are performing, the total won value by account. And we can really dive into those reports from here as well, or put a filter on the whole dashboard. So if we want to look only at a few sales rep instead of our whole team, we can just mark them in the filter, and the whole dashboard is going to adjust to just that information that we want to have for those sales employees. And we're going to see that the total revenue won and all the other metrics adjust accordingly. So we can really dive into the information, gain the insights that we want out of it. And of course, you have the flexibility to really build your own dashboards, your own reports as well, based according to your needs. And that concludes my little bit fast overview of the solution. There's a lot of functionality still left, a lot of parts that I was not able to show, but I hope that I could give you a first overview of the solution. How does it look? How does it work? What is possible with it? And of course, if you would like to get to know more, always feel free to reach out as well. And to wrap it up, I would like to give some key takeaways for you. It's always hard to process a lot of information, but what I really would like you to take away from this call as well, and from this appointment in regards of the Intelligent Sales Cloud, are 4 points. First, we have advanced AI capabilities. It's everywhere built in to the solution to really make us more efficient, if it's through generative AI features like the email prompt builder, where we can really save time on drafting those emails, or if it's the insight that we gain, for example, through intelligent lead and opportunity scoring based on the information that we already collected previously with customer information that we already have in the system. Then we have the real 360-degree customer insight, with information not only from within the solution, but from other SAP solutions as well. Be it immerses for marketing functionalities, that's information that we can bring in, information from a commerce system, or in most cases, the most important from my point of view, from an SAP ERP system. So we really gain insight as well into those backend processes like open invoices, orders, etc. Third, we have the holistic customer experience. What do I mean with that? It's that we really have an integrated solution here which enables you to deliver a seamless and consistent customer experience across all touch points, independent from the organization you're in. We get transparency between sales and service, for example. The sales employee can see which open service cases his customer has and can address them proactively. On the other side as well, the service team is able to look into opportunities and open sales processes with the customer to not bring anything in jeopardy which has impact on our revenue in the end. And of course, our employees will be happier and will value us more if we really address them holistically and already know who they are when they get in touch with us. And as the last point, that it's a really integrated solution, not only with other SAP systems like SAP ERP, where of course we can benefit from the standard integrations, but as well to third-party solutions. It's completely API open. We are able to build in mashup integrations to really be able to enable our sales employees to work within that one solution, even though we might still have some processes which run in other solutions and third-party solutions. They will not have to leave that solution for that. So that's the 4 key takeaways. So advanced AI capabilities, the 360-degree customer insight, holistic customer experience, and a fully integrated solution, and especially with SAP solutions based on standard integrations. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and spending that a little bit before lunchtime with me. And before we jump into the Q&As, I would have a last question for you. Was too fast. As we've seen some of the features, how important is AI in the sales context for you? And for now, we see that it seems to be an important topic, not for everyone, but it's a topic that is on the rise and which I think should not be the main focus of a CRM solution, but is a part of it, and it will become a part of it in terms of making processes more efficient, saving time, and gaining efficiency in the long run. And with that, I would like to jump into your questions, if we have some. And we have a first question from one of our participants. I'm going to read it out. Is the tool also used to create price lists for the entire offer? If so, can this be managed freely? Yeah, as mentioned, we have different possibilities to manage our pricing. We have the possibility to set up internal pricing in the solution, where we can define price lists as well, different pricing conditions for our customers quite flexibly. But as well, we have the possibility to use external pricing, which means we can access the pricing logic that we already have built up in an SAP ERP system, which is in most of our projects the case, where we already have an SAP backend in place, that we just use the already used pricing logics, customer-based pricing that is already there. I hope this answers the question. Then we have the next question. Is data transfer intelligently controlled, or is it manual work? Not sure if I get the whole context of the question, but data transfer is being set up through a middleware. In most cases that we work with, it's based on the SAP BTP CPI, so the integration tool of SAP, where you can set filters and define rules for data transfer as well. If it goes both ways, if it's one-way integration, for example, that we want to be able to change customers only in the ERP system, but prospects can be added and then being replicated to the ERP system from the Sales Cloud. All these are things that we can define on how the data should flow between different solutions. Then the next question. Can you design your own views, and is it easy, or are there any limitations? Yeah, so you're able to change the UI based on your needs. It's pretty similar to most CRM solutions, I guess, out there, where you have an adaptation mode and you can move fields around, you can move lists around, you can create in-list views, personalized list views, and save them. So you can cater or make the UI adapt to your needs and your views that you would like to have. The next question is, can the system be powered by external databases, and can they be freely connected? Not sure if I completely understand the essence of that question as well. But yeah, we have an API open system, so you're able to connect any external database as well. Always depends on what that database offers as well. But yeah, theoretically it is possible, but would make sense to look at that in detail and depending on your specific use case as well. And okay, I think that's a follow-up question to another question. It's about transferring from another tool. Yeah, so there's different possibilities of transferring data from another tool. You could make it more or less real-time through API integration, that you really get that information directly when it's altered in the other system into the Sales Cloud, or you could work with scheduled data runs as well, that you define based on some certain intervals when the data should come over. And we have different ways of integration possibilities as well. That's the questions, I guess, that we have so far. Yeah. So if there is no further question, I would have one very last question left for you, which then would be, if you would like to learn more about the SAP CX portfolio in this kind of format, like basically the question is, was this session helpful for you? And if you have interest in getting to know more. And as well, I would like to offer at that point as well, that if you want to dive deeper into this as well, maybe based on your use cases, feel free to reach out to us, to All for One, and we are happy to get in touch with you, get in contact with you, and answer more questions, jump into the system together, or discuss processes that might be relevant for you. And yeah, I'm happy about the positive feedback about this session. And with that, I would like to hand it over back to you, Alexandra, after thanking all of you, and for some closing words.
Safa, thank you so much for your presentation, for answering the questions that our attendees asked you, and thank you all. Dziękuję Państwu za za udział. Jeśli macie Państwo jeszcze jakieś pytania, to zapraszamy do kontaktu. Teraz wysłałam Państwu na czacie zaproszenie, miejsce, gdzie znajdziecie Państwo inne nasze webinary. Zapraszam do udziału w kolejnych webinarach. And thank you once more, Sasha, and thank you all, and see you on other webinars. And bye-bye.